Types of inflation. Demand pull inflation or wage inflation. Cost push inflation or commodity inflation. Monetary inflation. Fiscal inflation. Foreign exchange inflation. Effects of inflation. Inflation is like fire. A small fire gives light and warmth. When it gets out of control, it produces havoc and destruction. Similarly, a modest inflation works like a tonic, creating a conducive climate for growth, but when it crosses its limits, it becomes dangerous and injurious. Impact of inflation on household sector. Inflation directly reduces the purchasing power of the household sector, and consumers are compelled to reduce and readjust expenditures according to their priorities. Non-essential and luxury expenditures are axed. People receiving fixed incomes suffer the most. People are generally discouraged from cash savings and their real value gets eroded. Impact of inflation on business sector. Demand receives a setback as consumer reduce the consumption under inflation. Production costs increases due to rise in wages and in the prices of industrial inputs. New investments are regarded as risky as profit levels are uncertain. Export firms are typically hit by inflation. Impact of inflation on government. Government's expenditure on various projects and activities increases with increase in the price level. It may necessitate austerity measures and reordering of priorities. If inflation widens the deficit financing through printing of fresh currency may become expedient, and to the extent it happens, it will sustain or further fuel inflation. Government may apply wage freeze, a cut on perks, ban on new recruitments, and offer voluntary retirement schemes. Tools of inflation control. Restrictive monetary policy. Central bank may decrease cash reserve and liquidity ratio requirements of commercial banks, which would restrict their lending base. Central bank may resort to sale of government securities. Credit expansion is further restricted when the central bank increases the bank rate. Restrictive fiscal policy. Restrictive fiscal policy. Government cuts or postpones expenditure on new projects. Government reduces subsidies. Increases rates of direct and indirect taxes. Undertakes massive borrowing programs.